Welcome to The Truth, conversations no one likes to have. I am your host, Shawana Smiley, and today we are going to be talking to a special guest on bullying. Stay tuned. My guest today is a brave, courageous, beautiful young lady who I'm honored to have on the show. She is also a full-time college student and she's an advocate for alopecia. You all help me welcome Kenya Moore. Thank you so much, Kenya, for coming on the show today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to bring you on the show to talk about bullying because I know that you experienced that in your childhood. We actually have a lot in common when it comes to bullying. I also experienced that as well. But you are a spokesperson for alopecia. Can you speak to me or share with us what encouraged you or motivated you to be the voice for people that have alopecia?
Well, over time dealing with alopecia, I began to get bullied in middle school and high school, and I know what I went through with suicidal thoughts and depression and wanted to take myself away, take my life away because of what other people said. Yeah. So as time went on, I was like, maybe if I come out and tell everybody my story of what happened to me, maybe I can help those who suffer in silence and don't want to speak up or don't want to say, oh, I'm being bullied because I don't have any hair.
Wow. Didn't know that. And so you were dealing with definitely taking it pretty hard.
Yes.
It really affected, your mindset. What helped you, to overcome those thoughts of suicide and just those negative thoughts? What helped you? Because I know you have a strong family background. So talk to me about what helped you to overcome?
Well, over time, I could say prayer.
Amen.
Basically, just coming home every day, I would cry. I would be like, maybe if I just take my life away, everything would be better. Yeah. But sometimes I was like, well, no, I should just pray. And honestly, if it wasn't for my parents, honestly, keeping me in church every Sunday and praying over me and covering me, I don't honestly think I would be here today.
Wow, that is, girl, you're bringing chills to my body right now, because the power of prayer is amazing. That is key to our success in life, prayer. So let me ask you this. When you were going through those moments, did you ever speak to your parents or your best friend, or was there somebody that you could go to and talk to and tell about those thoughts that you were having?
Over time, I kind of kept it to myself. Mm-hmm. I kind of trapped it in to just going in my room and crying and just keeping everything to myself till eventually it got to physical and me having to fight other people just to defend myself. That's when I began to come out, and I told my mom. I walked in her room one night and I was like, I just don't want to be here. I just think it's better off if I'm going. Maybe they'll leave me alone then. So over time, I began to tell them, but at first I just kept it trapped in.
I had a son who, was dealing with depression, and that was hard for me to see. So I can only imagine, how hard that news was for your mom. But you got a mother who's a praying mother. She's a fighter, more so in the spirit than she is in the natural. So I know when you came to her with that kind of, news, she went to war on behalf for her baby. So let me ask you this. Recently, I would say months ago, you came out on, was it YouTube or Facebook?
Facebook.
You did a Facebook Live.
Yes.
Can you talk about that day? What made you go ahead and do a Facebook Live to talk about what you were dealing with?
It took me a while to finally get to that point to where I just felt like I can tell everybody. But over time, when I was graduating and everything, I kind of sat back and thought about things. I was like, well, maybe if I come out and tell my story, I can maybe impact somebody else that has alopecia. And if I come out and tell, nobody will have anything to hold against me or say to me anymore because everybody knows. So I was like, my whole life, I've been trapped in a box full of other people's opinions. So now it's just time for me to step out of that box and just be myself, because finally got to the point where I can finally know who I am, and I know my purpose, and I stopped allowing people to dictate who I was.
Wow. Okay, I'm trying to do this interview without crying, but this is kind of like hard. No, this is good stuff, because there are so many young people who they don't have the opportunity to sit down and tell their story. You know what I'm saying? Because some did take their lives. You know what I'm saying? Or they may be, somewhere else or doing something else, strung out on drugs or strung out on alcohol. But because you were rooted and grounded in God and your foundation was built on prayer, it makes a world of difference. You wouldn't be here today if the foundation hadn't been set. So it's amazing, to hear your story and how God brought you over. I remember you telling the story about this particular person that was bullying you in school, and how when you did the live, that person seen it and apologized to you. Can you talk a little bit about that? We don't have to say no names, but
yeah, I was attending high school at the time, and it was one person that always stirred up the drama. And when one person does something, people begin to follow them because of popularity places. Yeah. And so he just began to pick on me. Always say, oh, she got cancer, or she's a man, or she's milk dud head. He said different stuff, and it was mainly his words that really got to me and started other people talking about me as well. So at the time, me going to guidance counselors or principal wasn't good enough. I started feeling helpless, abandoned by my principals, the main people that are supposed to help me. I felt like they weren't doing enough. So over time, I was like, you know what, well, I'm just going to ignore him now and just continue to kill him with kindness, basically. Yeah. So I did my live on Facebook. I came out with alopecia, and he was one of the first people to start viewing it. And as soon as I ended the live, he sent me a long paragraph saying he apologized because of some of the stuff he's going through in his life, with people having cancer in his family, losing their hair and stuff. And he said he didn't know how much of an impact he had caused me in high school. And he literally apologized to me. And I was like, It's just the small things.
Yeah. So how are you feeling now, today?
I feel free.
I
feel great.
Girl, you're going to make me get up and shout all over this place. The best feeling in the world is to feel free and not feel bound or in bondage or in chains. Oh, that was a good answer. I'm telling you, oh my God, this is like my 4th interview, and I ain't never wanted to shout and cry so much until today. This is really good stuff. So you feel free. You feel like you're not in chains. And I was talking to your parents earlier, and I was picking on you because I was saying I seen you in the mall, and I can tell you seem a little free. You walk with your head high, and you walk with confidence, and you don't care who see you. That's a great feeling.
It took me a while to get to this point, so now I'm gonna walk with my shoulders up and my head up.
But you know what, Kenya?
With confidence.
Even though it took you a while, there's still some adults who it's still taking them a while to be free, to walk in freedom. Like I said earlier, when I was a young girl, I actually dealt with thyroid disease. A lot of people didn't, my family knew it, but a lot of people that know me don't know that that's something that I suffered from when I was young. And when I was young in elementary school, I got picked on all the time because it did alter the way I look. The way I look today is not how I looked back then, and you don't want to see it. But it took God coming into my life, prayer, to make me whole, to accept who I was and how I was created, because I always felt like I had to and in order for me to get people to like me, I had to, get, the long hair. I had to get my nails done. I had to get makeup all the way up until I got, I was an adult. I dealt with self-esteem issues because of the seeds that were planted when I was a child from people bullying me. And it wasn't just people bullying me at school. It was family members that bullied me. So when I went home, sometimes I had to deal with being bullied also. So this subject for me really hits home, because I think that could be why I kind of get teary talking about it, because I know the effects that it can have on a person, mind and heart or soul. But I'm so thankful and grateful that God helped you at an early age, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that's going to be watching this that are still suffering from seeds that people planted when they were younger, or in high school, things, bullying. And the thing that gets me is, especially in our community, a lot of times I grew up where people would say, oh, they're just being kids. They have that mentality where, oh, they're just being kids. Kids clown around, kids pick on each other, But words have power, and they do hurt. What else are you doing?
Right now, I'm starting up my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And eventually, I want to try and get my business license to make wigs for young girls that can't afford any hair or anything.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, you gonna do it. We gonna speak it, we gonna pray for it, and we gonna seal it that you gonna do exactly what God has, placed on your heart to do. If you had the opportunity, which we have it right now, I want you to look in that camera right there, or that camera right there, and I want you to speak to the people, or that girl that may have went through the same thing, or may be going through the exact same thing that you went through. It doesn't matter what the reason a person's bullying a person for. Bullying is bullying, and it's wrong. But I want you to speak to the camera, and I want you to encourage that young lady and that young man that may be bullied, or going through bullying. And then after that, I want you to also say something to the person that's bullying. So go ahead and take this time and look in that camera right there, and just whatever God places on your heart.
So for those who are the ones being bullied, never let a person's word dictate the way you act or how it makes you feel. When you allow a person that's bullying you to get to you, it just provokes them to start doing it over and over again. If you don't let their words allow to take control of your life and just walk with your head up and everything, don't try to retaliate, don't try to get back at them, don't try to get revenge, just let it go. Forgive and let it go. And kill them with kindness. For the people who are bullying the other people, your time is coming, and you blocking your blessings. You'll never get anywhere bullying anybody else or allowing them to take their lives because of the words you say. Your words hurt, and they can mean a lot. Verbally saying something hurts more than physically.
And I just want to say to you parents, make sure you know what's going on with your children. There have been so many reports of children killing themselves because of bullying. Bullying is not something that we should take lightly. It's something that we should definitely make sure we are up on as parents. Keep your kids covered in prayer. Keep your kids covered in prayer in the name of Jesus. I thank you all for tuning in. You all have a blessed day.